Welcome to the Mobile Home Friend YouTube channel. I am Charles Odell, and this is your primary resource for everything manufactured housing. Whether you are tackling a full remodel like the one you see here, or just looking for honest advice on repairs and financing, we provide the data and technical deep dives you need to succeed. Our mission is simple: to help you save money and improve your home through first principles logic and transparent cost breakdowns. For the full technical guides and even more resources, visit us at mobilehomefriend.com.
Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. Today we are looking at the true cost of fixing the biggest mobile home issues, based on our latest research at mobilehomefriend.com. If you own an older mobile home, or you're thinking about buying one, you know they come with a ton of potential, and usually a few potential problems.
Yeah, that's a truth every single mobile home investor figures out pretty fast. But hey, don't let that scare you off. The great news is that almost all of these common issues are totally fixable. You just need to know exactly what you're up against so you can tackle them smartly and, not break the bank.
All right, let's just get right into it. We're going to break down the three biggest problem areas we see over and over and over again. That's the roof, the subfloor, and the foundation. Let's start with a really quick look at what you can probably expect to pay. So this chart gives you a pretty good idea of the professional cost ranges for 2025. And believe me, these three are the most critical repairs you need to have on your radar. Now keep in mind, these are averages. Your local market can definitely change things. That's why we always say, get at least 3 different bids from contractors you trust.
Let's start at the top with the roof. It is literally your home's first line of defense against everything. And we have seen it happen so many times. A tiny, easy-to-fix leak gets ignored, and before you know it, it blossoms into an absolute catastrophe. The second that shield fails, everything underneath it is at risk.
So what are you actually looking for? Well, water stains on the ceiling are the classic sign, but honestly, by the time you see those, the leak's been doing its damage for a while. A much better early warning: if you can get up on the roof safely, just feel for any spongy spots. That's a dead giveaway water has soaked the decking. And of course, just do a quick visual scan for missing shingles or any cracked seams, especially around vents and pipes.
Okay, so you've spotted a problem. Let's talk about the real damage, the one to your wallet. The cost can vary a whole lot, but we can break it down into a few really common scenarios.
If you catch it super early and the damage is minor, we're talking ceiling events or a simple flashing repair, you're looking at this range. This is the best case scenario, and spending this little bit of money now can literally save you thousands later on.
Now, a lot of mobile homes have those flat or low-slope membrane roofs. If the roof is getting older, but it hasn't actually failed yet, getting a professional roof coating is a fantastic preventative move. For a typical single-wide, this can add years of life to your existing roof. And here's the big one. If the damage is just too extensive, or maybe you decide to upgrade to a traditional pitched shingle roof, you're looking at a much bigger investment. This is a major project, and as we noted on the site, you can find a full technical breakdown of all the materials and options in the complete post on mobilehomefriend.com.
Okay, moving down from the roof, we land on the subfloor. And let's be honest, nothing makes a mobile home feel its age more than a soft, spongy floor. The cause is almost always the same thing: water damage just wrecking that original particle board. Getting that floor solid again is so crucial for the home's stability and just the overall feel.
The signs are pretty darn clear. You'll feel those soft or spongy spots when you walk, especially in the high moisture areas like bathrooms and kitchens. You might also actually see sagging floors, or if you can get underneath the home, you'll see visible water stains and maybe even mold.
So what's it going to take to get that solid feeling back under your feet? Well, the cost really just comes down to how widespread the damage actually is.
For just a small, localized patch, like a 4x4 section right around a toilet, that's a super common one, you're looking at this price range. It's a very common and pretty affordable fix.
But if you're tackling a larger, maybe 10 by 10 section, say in a kitchen, the cost goes up. And this often involves the extra labor of having to move cabinets or appliances out of the way first, which just adds to the time and cost.
A solid subfloor is absolutely essential, yeah? But it's only as good as the structure holding it up. And this leads us perfectly into our final and honestly most critical component.
We're talking about the foundation, the backbone of your entire home. If it's not right, the whole structure suffers. And listen, this is the one area where we always say you should hire a professional. It is just not a DIY job for most people. Seriously.
So how do you know there's a problem? Well, the most common sign is doors and windows that stick because their frames are all out of square. But you also got to look for cracks in the walls, sloping floors, or even bowing walls. These aren't just cosmetic issues, folks. They are structural red flags.
Now, I know foundation repair just sounds incredibly expensive, but with a manufactured home, it's often more manageable than you might be afraid of. So let's look at the numbers for getting your home back on the level.
This is by far the most common foundation job. For a single wide, a full releveling means a crew comes in and they systematically adjust all the piers under the home until that entire structure is perfectly level again. And as you'd expect, a double wide is a bit more involved, so it'll cost a bit more.
Now, if there's been some really severe long-term neglect, the costs can definitely jump. This is when you have to actually replace the piers themselves, or maybe even compromise steel I-beams. It's less common for sure, but it is a very, very serious repair.
So, after looking at all these potential costs, what's the big takeaway from all this? What's the one thing you need to remember? It really comes down to one simple concept: the proactive payoff.
This slide says it all, and it is the absolute truth of home maintenance. That tiny roof leak you ignore today will rot your subfloor tomorrow, and that rotten subfloor eventually leads to major structural issues. It's a chain reaction. Catching and fixing problems when they are small is, without a doubt, the single best way to protect your investment and save yourself a fortune.
So here's your action plan. It's super simple. First, make a habit of performing regular inspections. Check the roof, look under your sinks, take a peek underneath the home. Second, the moment you find something, address it. Do not wait. And third, if a job looks too big or you're just not sure, call a pro. That peace of mind is worth every single penny.
We really hope this breakdown was helpful. Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to mobilehomefriend.com. And don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Thanks for watching. For more technical guides on this topic, click the link to see the in-depth article over at mobilehomefriend.com. There are many more informational dives into manufactured home topics to investigate and keep your project moving forward.